And the Italian Grand Prix is underway. Lando Norris is looking at his teammate and he's got the launch that he needs. But George Russell is still a contender. Second and third are battling. Piastri blocks out Russell. Lando Norris has got to the front. Russell goes onto the grass and over the road. He momentarily takes the lead, but he'll have to feather it back. McLaren finally get the start they needed from Lando Norris. It's Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. Russell loses out as a result of going over the road at turn number 1. It's Charles Leclerc, then Carlos Sainz as the McLarens are side by side, and Oscar Piastri's going all the way around the outside to take the lead with a bold and brilliant move. Lando still can't keep the lead on lap number 1, and he's lost second place to Charles Leclerc.
I can't believe what I've just seen. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Oscar Piastri, who knows that if he's running anywhere near his teammate, that McLaren have to start thinking big picture. He now changes that completely by leading this Grand Prix.
That could be move of the season. That was extraordinary from Piastri on his teammate, round the outside, low downforce, low grip, and he's into the race lead.
Big gravel there between the two Haas cars as they scrabble all over the road, and that's Hülkenberg losing positions and dropping down the order. Magnussen gets by, Gasly gets by.
This gets very, very tight for George Russell then. He gets a good launch, but the McLarens lock out that inside path. Piastri then, he squeezes wide. Eesh, and that is super tight there for Russell. Here's the sensational move, late on the brakes from Piastri. So close but fair between the two McLarens, and it's just a beautiful move from Piastri. No sign of team orders, quite clearly, for McLaren, and it cost Norris another position. The big lurid slide. Through goes Leclerc.
This is Hülkenberg, contact with Daniel Ricciardo, then he's going to scrape across the gravel, through goes Kevin Magnussen, and that put the dust on the racing line. It's a 5-second time penalty for Daniel Ricciardo for forcing another car off the track. This is going to be Hülkenberg trying a late send and making contact as a result. That is pure frustration. We go on board with the German driver, trying to scrub off the speed and hitting Yuki Tsunoda.
Never on from there.
Here's the move for Sergio Perez. He got a horrible amount of dirty air coming through the parabolica, sent him wide through that corner. But even with that, he's able to move ahead into the braking zone and take 7th place. And George Russell has gone from chasing 3rd position, trying to turn it into 2nd position, going long at the first corner of the racetrack, and he's tumbled down to 8th position. Kevin Magnussen fights his way by. He's got past Daniel Ricciardo at the Rettifilo chicane, the first one on the racetrack.
Lando suggests we do box to overtake on Leclerc, box to overtake.
So the call comes out. Oh, he's hit the marker coming into the pits, and I think he got away with it, but was he over the pit lane speed limit?
Well, we'll find out pretty soon, but that's a lack of concentration or a drop in concentration for Lando. It was a late call from the team. Let's see if it works out.
In comes Charles Leclerc trying to cover off that pit stop for McLaren. Also in Lewis Hamilton. And he's powering through, he's getting ahead. There he is, told you he was ahead. We caught it in the end. Lando Norris leaps up to what will become a net 2nd place in the race. This is Kevin Magnussen trying to pull off another overtake, and this time wasn't as special as the move at the first chicane. Contact with Pierre Gasly.
Yep, on that dusty inside line, locks up, and it was always going to be contact if Gasly didn't use the escape roads.
Norris starting to struggle. This is when Red Bull started to have graining, around lap 15 in the stint.
This is George Russell up against Sergio Perez. Russell trying to go around the outside, and again he's having to scamper over the road at the first chicane. He knows the rules of engagement though, and he will have to give Perez the place back. He does so. Is he going to try and do it in a way that gives him an opportunity to attack once again? Race control can sometimes be a bit sniffy about that if they don't feel you gave back the advantage, and Russell stays behind. He's on the charge though at the moment, trying to take Perez. This is Lando Norris. Now we're heading to the 2nd chicane, in fact. On board with the driver who was 2nd and having to go to the correct side of the bollards and rejoin. So it is a 2-stopper. Unlike previous years, he will get the rubber first. And Lando Norris being held for a moment there, 3.3 seconds.
Magnussen back in the wars, this time with Alex Albon.
Consequential move that for Kevin Magnussen, up 4 places from where he started the Grand Prix. He hasn't scored a point here in a decade at Monza, and he gets by Alex Albon, who had fresher tyres on the car.
On the canvas.
Oh my word, George Russell trying to scrub off the speed from 200 miles per hour was eventually given the space by Sergio Perez and then deliberately ran it deep into the first turn to make a point, I believe. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Sergio Perez once again battling over 8th position. Outside line for Perez. Can Russell keep a wheel in there? And it's good speed for that Mercedes. Through goes George Russell and he's up to 8th. We cut to Oscar Piastri in the pits. McLaren have dealt with the car, have put on a new set of hard tyres. Charles Leclerc takes the lead of the Grand Prix.
I don't think this is working out well at all for McLaren. Norris is barely quicker than Leclerc and Sainz right now, tucked in behind Verstappen. It's not working for them, and that's a huge risk. Pitting Piastri under no pressure in the race lead, it's a huge risk because they've just handed Ferrari right now a 1-2, and they can just see if they can make these hard tyres go to the end. Oscar's got to unleash some serious pace to go and catch them.
Norris going for it. Going past, and that is a fairly efficient move. I don't think Verstappen can come back into turn number 1. By the time that we get to the second chicane, there might be an opportunity. McLaren need to put the hammer down now as Norris gets ahead of his rival for the championship. The Ferrari clearly doesn't have the grip. We don't see many passes for position into Ascari. It might be about to change. Oscar Piastri fights his way through to second place. He's cleared one Ferrari. The next one is denying him the top step for the second time in his career. Lando Norris got super close to Carlos Sainz, not in the right part of the racetrack. It is going to be third position for Lando Norris, who started this race on pole. He held the lead into turn number 1, but his teammate got by into the second chicane. And since then, Piastri has been the lead McLaren.
He's bringing it right now. He's only 2/10 off his best lap of the race, Charles Leclerc. There's not a huge sign of degradation for him. And Piastri on the last lap was only half a second quicker. And he is right now doing everything right for a victory for Ferrari at Monza.
These are magical moments at Monza. This did not seem possible when Charles Leclerc started 4th on the grid, but it will be a season of home victories for Charles Leclerc. The man from Monaco is the man for Monza. The Tifosi are roaring him home, and for the second time in his career, Charles Leclerc is the winner of the Italian Grand Prix for Ferrari. He's won the race by 2.6 seconds for his 7th career victory, and it's one to savour.
What a drive, what a driver. And Ferrari, this was a team a couple of years ago, couldn't get a strategy right all season. They were throwing races away, and now they are team reformed. And what a moment for Charles Leclerc.